Everybody, thanks for watching. So now, it's a lot of people are concerned about the, what's going on with gun control, and there's been a lot of demonstrations and people talking about, stiffer gun laws, and the same stuff we've been seeing for years now. And we can see, the agenda again is to, of course, get rid of our automatic weapons. So posted on my Facebook about how they passing a bill, put a bill on the table to actually begin the process of trying to eliminate automatic weapons. And this is something that, you guys got to really start to understand how they operate. So, if it does pass, this will be something that won't be mainstream news. They'll probably keep it out of the media, just like they did with the introduction of the bill. It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a bunch of people talking about the introduction of this bill being on the table as far as them beginning the process to get rid of automatic weapons. It'll pass subtly if it does pass, and they'll keep it quiet because things they don't want us to really talk about, they don't talk about. So again, when the government was found guilty in the assassination of Dr. King, it wasn't mainstream media. It wasn't all over the news. A lot of people, when they hear about it, they don't think it's even true, but the government was found guilty and complicit in the murder of Dr. Martin Luther King, and it's not mainstream news. Nobody's talking about it. He has a big statue down in Washington, and that's what we get. But it wasn't big news because they didn't want it, to make it big news. And that basically validates everything we've been talking about as black people and how to get rid of our leaders, how they don't want us to rise. That validates everything right there. So to keep it from, becoming big news, they just don't talk about it. And this is what they'll do with gun control. They just won't talk about it. They won't talk about, once it passed, what's happening. The only way we're going to really be able to make our voice heard is if we do demonstrate, which a lot of people have. But they're flipping a lot of the demonstrations and getting people to believe that they are for gun control. You have a lot of people out there marching for them to not repeal or not do anything to take away automatic weapons. But you also have a lot of people out there who are, blindly marching for something to happen, some kind of legislation to be passed for, the children, to keep, kids from being shot up in schools or what have you. And they're going to use this and spend this to, take away automatic weapons. And for many people who have been fooled by this, a lot of people think it's a good idea, for us to give full control of, our weapons to the military, to the government, to basically, give the government superior firepower over the people. I mean, come on. With everything we've been seeing, everything that has been going on, we understand that this system is crooked, this government is crooked. And I talked about this before. This is something we just can't let happen. And there's a lot of people who are fighting who understand that we can't give superior firepower to the government. Now, a lot of you are going to say, well, they already got superior firepower. They got cruise missiles and nukes or what have you. But yeah, it takes people to operate those things. It takes a team to even get permission to launch. And, it's a lot of stuff that goes into using this. And you can't really justify using it on the people. But when you have something like automatic weapons, that's close quarters, combat weapons, to where if you're going to have something like martial law, or if you're going to have something to where it's going to be a firefight between law enforcement or military and the people, then this is where we lose and they win, having superior firepower on that level. And the only way you can justify that is if you are invading a country. You're trying to take over a country. And this is something that even Hitler pointed out. One of the things you want to do if you're planning to take over a country is get rid of their weapons. Take away the power for them to have, equal firepower. But this is what's happening. And, a lot of people are just sitting back and, complicit with this. And a lot of people are not really understanding what this really means, and that people actually believe it's going to be a good thing. Now, all the false flags attacks we have been seeing, all the shootings and everything like that, a lot of people just can't fathom that this stuff is staged, and not staged in a sense to where it's all fake or anything like that. Some of them was proven to be fake, but even the real ones, we have to understand, are done on purpose for this very reason. The school shootings and everything like that. I mean, you just had with this judge entering a not guilty plea for this kid because he didn't want to speak. And we're seeing the slow dismantling of the Second Amendment, and them basically, they're saying, well, you can have guns. We're just going to take away automatic weapons so this shit don't happen again. Because until they do, they're going to keep letting it happen. It's going to keep happening. We're going to keep seeing events like this. And the problem is, we're not in a position as a people to catch them in the act. They run the media. We can't catch them. We can only speculate that this is false flag and that they are doing all these things to take away our weapons. We can't really put proof on a table that they are doing this. We got to really, just hope the American people are smart enough to understand that the shit is all a setup. So definitely don't put it past them, because they will pass this bill overnight. We might hear about it one time and then that's it. And that's how typically things go in America. If mainstream media is not pounding on a subject, if it's not getting any real play on Twitter or Facebook, we don't really talk about it. What they'll do is when they pass it, they might say something about it one time, and then something major will happen to cover it up, to take our attention away from the fact that they just took away automatic weapons. And it'll be something that occupied people's time, and people will be more focused on that than understanding the fact that our weapons have been taken away. We got to really understand the true power of the media and how they basically, are the voice for America. If the media is not talking about it, then everybody else is not going to be talking about it. So all the media have to do, or all they have to do, is to get the media outlets to not talk about the subject no more, to just shut up about it. And as long as they shut up about it, as long as nobody's talking about it, then that's it, And the thing is, some people will say stuff here and there, but you won't be able to get it to a point where everybody is, coming together on this point, because you have a lot of people who agree with them taking away automatic weapons and taking away weapons from the people. You have a lot of people who are duped by this whole thing and all these false flags, who really believe that this stuff just happened to be happening around the same time they want to take away our weapons. And a lot of people are not really understanding that there is an agenda. A lot of people still think that the government is good, and we can trust Uncle Sam and everything like that. So it's a lot of people who are not on board or not in understanding of what is happening. A lot of people can't see what they're trying to do. So you got to factor in that as well. But they are using, kids walking out of school, demonstrating, as trying to get people to believe that there's this big outcry for America to basically have stiffer gun laws, or to take away the power of the American people to purchase and own automatic weapons. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all for them, having stiffer gun laws or what have you, making it harder for people to get firearms or what have you. But you got to understand, in most cases, in most states, there's already things in place, background checks or what have you, to keep, just anybody from getting a gun. Now, they want to make that a little bit harder, require mental evaluations and, stuff like that. Cool. But as far as totally getting rid of automatic weapons out of the hands of the American people, that's crazy. That's something we just can't let happen. They want to do more background checks, which, seems like that's what's needed. You have a lot of people who get their hands on weapons and they got mental illnesses. The issue is, and we all know this, it doesn't matter what you do. If a person wants to do something, they're going to do it. It's no law, because they're clearly not. When you go out and you execute people and you kill people, you're disobeying the law. So there's no law that you can put in place that is going to keep a person from breaking the law when their goal is to break the law in the first place. So what is the point? When you have, again, California, stiffest gun laws, where you have the most shooting deaths occur in California with the stiffest gun laws. So it doesn't matter what laws you put in place. People are going to do what they want to do when they want to do it. They're going to break the law. So no new law is going to stop that. So in order for them to combat that, what they're going to say is, well, people are going to break the law. So we don't need to change the laws. We need to take away automatic weapons altogether from the people. And that's going to be their reasoning behind that. So you got to be careful what you ask for sometimes. And these cases where you have a lot of people saying we just need stiffer gun laws and we need to just make it so it's harder for people to get guns, I'm all for that. But this is what they're going to say. They're going to say exactly what I just said. Well, we can't, keep people from breaking the law. They're going to break the law when they want to break the law. We need to take away the guns altogether. And this is what this new bill that has been introduced is definitely talking about. And getting rid of the gun shows and when you understand, if you ever been to one of these gun shows before, I've been to a couple of them, when you understand how these things go and the type of people that's involved and how serious these people are about guns, me personally, I just don't see it happening. I see how hard they fighting and pushing for it. It's definitely going to be a lot of angry people out there if they try to take away automatic weapons. Then you got to ask yourself, what are they going to do? What are they going to do about the people who already have registered automatic weapons? You know, are they going to require people to turn in their automatic weapons who already have them? You know, how is that going to work out? I just can't see, you know, people turning in their automatic weapons after they purchased them or had them for a long time, you know, just period. I just can't see that happening. So, you know, this whole thing, as hard as they pushing on it and how much they putting behind it, is something that they're serious. They're adamant about getting this passed and taking away our gun power in some way, shape, or form, either just making it harder for people to get guns or just taking away automatic weapons altogether. It's going to be something. They're going to try to get something until they can get exactly what they want, which is the complete, you know, disarmament of the people. And that's what they want. They want us to be powerless. And that's just something stupid that we can't allow to happen. We have already allowed them to take the banks and have control of our banks, our food, our education. If we let them, you know, our healthcare, if we let them take control of our weapons, I mean, it's over. It's just like we have already given away so much to this government. And, you know, it's a part of a system. And they understand that once they complete their agenda, you know, where we will be at as a people and how much control they will have over us. And it's already too much. So, you know, they plan crooked, they plan dirty. All of the shootings out there that has been going on, we've seen so many toys that look like real guns. And this is just, you know, so you can have kids bringing these toy guns to school, getting shot and killed. Just more reason for them to pass gun laws. Anything they can do to make it look like, you know, these guns are a nuisance, that automatic weapons must be gone. They're not just talking about assault weapons or what have you. They want automatic weapons gone. Anything automatic, they want out the way. So if you go to Walmart, I mean, Walmart has, I mean, real looking guns. I mean, you could buy these pellet guns, these BB guns from Walmart, and they're automatic, but they shoot pellets and BBs, and they look real. And it's just something that, you know, we got to pay attention to as far as everything that's being put in place to take away your right, you know, your protection, you know, your peace of mind, you know, as far as defending yourself and your family. Now, they can go ahead and pass these laws. You also have the people who won't obey them, who's still going to have automatic weapons, who's still going to commit crimes when they want to. And then now we run the risk of being in a position where, you know, you have a person who comes into your house with superior firepower. They got an automatic weapon. You got your handgun or your shotgun. You lose. So they're putting so many people at risk on so many different levels with this stuff passing. And the only way it can ever pass is if it's a war. It's just the only way it's going to happen. I just don't see people willingly giving up their weapons in any capacity. So unless they're going to enforce something or, you know, come door to door and take people's weapons away, I just don't see anything passing as far as people letting them take our weapons. But it's something we got to watch for. And it's a lot of people who are falling for this whole trick and giving up so much control and allowing themselves to basically, you know, come away with the understanding that we would somehow be better off as a people if we let the government control every single aspect of our life. And that's just crazy. And, you know, when you have a system that would allow a president like Trump, even though we know it's all bullshit, and it's one of the things that I just can't, you know, fathom with some people who call themselves conscious, why they buying into all this Trump stuff. Anybody who's buying into this Trump stuff, come on, it's bullshit. I talked about this before. You got 1 minute, this dude in the back in the 80s, 90s, what have you, strong advocate for black businesses. It wouldn't be so many black businesses on Wall Street if it wasn't for Donald Trump. Donald Trump did some good stuff. Dude got a lot of black friends, a lot of black friends, celebrities. Talked about this before. So now all of a sudden he runs for president. He's this racist guy, yada, yada, yada. We see what's going on. And, you know, it's WWE. As I said, this is all act. It's all bullshit. And here you have people who understand that the presidency is a puppet post that is bought and that these people control the media, mainstream. But then you are following exactly what mainstream media is saying. If you understand that the media is controlled, that these people are putting out what they want us to take in, and it's part of their agenda, to control us through the media. Why are you following what the media is talking about? So the whole narrative that Donald Trump is this racist, and the whole narrative about gun control and everything like that, we are following exactly what they want us to follow. Anytime you following what the news is saying, you lost. You ain't got the whole story. So you got a lot of people who following this stuff, who running with the whole program. And anytime that's going on, you know, we're in trouble. So, you know, we got to step back and take a look at the overall picture. They're trying to cause us to basically ask for gun control, and we're going to get it. Or they're going to make it seem like we're asking for gun control and we're going to get it. So this is what's going on right now with the marches and the protests. A lot of people just protesting about Trump being in the White House still and everything like that. And, you know, eventually people are going to, you know, be like, this is what we want. They're going to fall onto the bandwagon and it's going to pass. And they're going to make it seem like overwhelmingly the people wanted gun control, just like they did with them saying, well, overwhelmingly people wanted Trump to be president. When you look at all the backlash that has been happening since Trump has been in the White House, it's been more so from people who don't like him. You haven't seen too many of his supporters in the numbers that you see his detractors. So it wasn't that, you know, America just overwhelmingly voted for Trump. It was all set up from the jump. It's not the fact that, you know, okay, half of the country wanted this so-called racist man in the White House, and we've been seeing all this racism. All this shit is just staged. It's set up. It's playing off each other, and everybody just playing into it and not looking at what's really going on. So one of the agendas, as I said, with the internet, that's done. It's over. And net neutrality is done. It's gone. Coming up next month, they're going to start implementing it. Your internet bill is going to go through the roof. It's going to have different contingencies and different plans. This is an agenda we just seen passed. It's done. And this to me is just as serious as our guns. So that's already done. So if we let that happen, and then we're not saying nothing, it's no big deal with net neutrality, because the media is not blowing it up every single day about the repealing of net neutrality.